So far in InDesign, we've been making independent pages that don't necessarily interact with each other or have consistency across each other. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to create master pages, which are really one of the valuable aspects of InDesign that allow you to create consistent content very quickly. Right now I have a 3-page document. I have my first page and my second and third page, which are in a spread. So this is a facing pages document. And I'm going to go ahead and create a fourth page just by selecting my final page and clicking New. And now I've made a fourth page. So this will be my front cover, my interior content, and my back cover. So far we've been making content independently, right? If I make an ellipse on this page, then I have that ellipse only on that page. If I go to another page, for instance page 3, and I create some sort of polygon or something, that's only going to be on page 3, right? You can see the preview here. But let's say we want consistency across our pages. For that, we're going to be using master pages. I'm just going to go ahead and delete all these and go back to my first page. Master pages allow you to create a consistent template that's then applied to all of your pages or whichever pages you like, and it's uneditable from those pages, so it makes making selections really simple and can really make your life a lot easier. By default, everything actually has this A master applied to it. We can see that little A in the corner of each page. And at the top of our Pages panel, if you don't see this, go Window, Pages. We have two masters up here. We have the None master, which this is just a default blank one. And then we have the A master, which is the default that comes with InDesign whenever you create a new document. The A master, as you can see here, is a spread of pages that have nothing on them. You can think of this master almost as like a style or an appearance from Photoshop or Illustrator. If I double click it, I've now entered the master and I'm editing it. I can see that down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It says A master. And any changes I make in here are going to be reflected on these other pages that have the A master applied to them. So, for example, if I use that same tool I used before and draw a rectangle, that rectangle now appears, so I drew a rectangle on the right spread, now appears on any right spread pages. Let's go back to our master by double clicking it. Let's go ahead and do a circle on the left page of this spread. Now I have a rectangle that appears on the right page and a circle that will appear on the left page. As I zoom out, you can see what all these look like. Now this is really useful because this actually isn't selectable while you're editing these pages. So while I'm placing type, I can't inadvertently select these, but I can still select my type. So you can still come in here and edit the pages individually, but in order to edit the background, the master, I have to go back to the original master up here by double clicking it. Any changes I make to the master, whenever I come back down to my other pages, it's reflected in those pages. So this is really useful for things like page numbers, right? We want that consistent across the whole document. And we're going to get into how to insert special characters in a future video. And things like background colors, background images, things that are going to be consistent on a multi-page basis. If you're only applying something to one page, it's probably not worth creating a master just for that page. However, we can create as many masters as we like and apply them to as many different pages as we like. So for example, in this tutorial, I'm going to make a master for our content pages, which are pages 2 and 3, so for this 2-page spread. And I'm going to create a master for our front and back cover, pages 1 and 4. I'm going to go ahead and click back on our master, our A master, and just delete this content. And to create a new master, I simply right-click, and I can either duplicate this master that already exists or create a new master. It gives it a prefix. I'm just going to leave it as B. I can give it a name, so I'll call this one front and back. I'm going to say 1 page, because we're going to apply this single page to both of these in the same way. We don't need 2 pages. So I'll say OK. And it's created this new B front back master. I can scroll through my masters up here now. Let's just go ahead and give this a simple background color. I'm going to go to my swatches and grab this kind of darker color here. I'm going to just remove the stroke. I'll grab my rectangle tool, and I'm going to pay attention to my bleed, so I'm drawing my rectangle across the bleed. It's okay if it spills out a little bit there. If I want to be really precise, I guess I can adjust that. Let's add some lines here. So let's say we have a top line and a bottom line. Notice I'm really drawing outside the lines. That's totally fine, right? We're not going to see any of this whenever we print it. Okay, if I go back to my pages, so now I have this B front and back that I've created. And this is a good template, and I'll use this for both of them. All I need to do now is select my first page, right click. There's Apply Master to Pages. And I can choose which master to use. I'm going to use B. And then I can tell it to which pages. So I'm going to say to pages 1 and 4. And I say OK. Notice I did 1, 4, so 1 and 4. Just to show you that again, if I right click, Apply Master to Pages, and this time I do like 1 through 4, it also understands that. It's very versatile and it understands what we're typing. Let's click on our pages and just see what we have. All right, looks great. Now let's create our spread master. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a new master. And I'll call this my spread. 2 pages is fine. I'll say OK. So in this case, let's go ahead and select a different color. Usually with interior pages, I like to do a lighter background color. So I will place this. Oh, forgot to turn off my stroke. I'll just turn that off. Make sure I go all the way to my bleed. And sometimes I like to just lower the opacity on this just to have it a little bit more readable, depending on the color of text I'm going to have in these pages. I'm not quite sure yet. All right, I'll use that line. I'm going to use the pen tool this time. I'll do some diamonds. I'll turn off my stroke, or my fill. I'm going to turn off my fill. I'll go back to my Pages panel, and I'm going to right-click, Apply Master to Pages. We'll say C Spread to pages 2 and 3. So now I have a very basic template that's being applied to all of these. One quick thing that you're going to see me do a lot in these tutorials from here out is I'm going to be using the preview mode quite a bit. I like to see what my page looks like without all the excess going on the sides. You can access that by holding down Shift and pressing W on your keyboard. Then you can click right and left on your arrow keys to see what the different pages look like. Now these definitely need some work, but it looks pretty good overall.